You can start lying on your back in Shavasana. So we might say that above all, our practice is to be present, not stuck in the past, not worrying or planning for the future, just being right here, right now. So with that in mind, you can start by just notice the sensory field. So you might start with touch, feeling how you're connecting to the earth. Touch of air on your skin. Notice if you feel kind of off-centered, maybe one side of the body feels heavier than the other, or one limb has landed differently than the other. And we're just being here, being present, noticing what's happening without needing to add any analysis or judgment or anything else. So I had a teacher who would always, or very often, respond to whatever was arising with, "Isn't that interesting?" Notice any sounds the ears are receiving, whether the eyes are opened or closed, noticing the quality of light in the room. Notice any scent the nose is picking up. Notice the river of breath. We could call this the bridge between inside and outside, even though there really is no separation. You might notice your overall sense of energy, your mood. Any deeper feelings, emotions, state of mind. Just being here with what is. And now we'll begin our movement inquiry with the arms alongside the body. Palms can be facing up or down. Okay, and then we just slide one arm down so the shoulder moves away from the ear. You don't have to cement the head in place. So if the head wants to roll a little bit, you can let that happen. And then relax that arm and do the same thing on the other side. It's just a little reach here, the shoulders sliding down away from the ear. We're not lifting the arm. We're kind of brushing it along the floor. And see if rather than just doing it, just performing it, just getting it done, you can feel into the movement. So you might notice the texture of whatever it is that's on your floor. You might notice the shoulder blade gliding down on the back of the rib cage. You might notice one arm or one shoulder moving easier than the other. And we're going for quality of ease here. So the goal isn't to go absolutely as far as you can go. There's no competition for getting the hand down to the knee or anything like that. So just quality of ease, feeling sensation, feeling moderate amount of sensation. And let's add now an intentional head movement. So as the arm slides down away from you, turn your head So you can look at the hand as it's sliding away. And particularly with the neck, we tend to kind of crank with the neck. Just quality of ease. You might not see the hand. Maybe it's just in that general direction of the gaze. Let the breath breathe you. Let's continue with this arm slide reach a few more times, but let's change now the rotation of the head. So as one arm slides down, turn your head in the opposite direction. So that shoulder might be rising up a little bit that you're looking toward. You don't have to make that happen, but you could feel this kind of up slip, down slip. Turning the head side to side, opposite the reaching arm, the down reaching arm. And then gradually coming back to stillness at center. Feel the weight of your head. Notice how your hands meet the floor. Is there a different amount of space underneath one hand versus the other? Isn't that interesting? Let's plant both feet. Comfortable distance from the body and from each other, and take arms out to a T. Try for palms up if that's okay for the shoulders. Okay, same kind of action here. Now we're just sliding away from the midline. So left arm slides a little to the left. You're not getting very far. And then relax the arm and slide right arm out to the right. So it's tiny movement. We're not bringing the arm down alongside the ear or alongside the body. It's just a little reach, like there's something that you want and you just have to reach a little bit to touch it with your fingertips. Let's add rotation opposite the reaching arm. So one arm reaches and we turn the head to look toward the still arm. Notice where the sensation is arising. Adding one more element here, we're gonna add just a little lift here. So as the arm slides away from you, first get that slide and then just a little lift, like an inch or two at the most. You could pause for a moment and then release the arm back down. Head rolls back to center. We're still rotating that opposite the reaching arm. Reach, little lift at the end range. And let's keep this movement going with the arms and we'll add a windshield wiper. So you might want to just kind of pause the arms. You can take your feet a little bit wider. Knees drop side to side. Whichever way the knees go, the opposite arm reaches away from you, lifts a little bit. And now let your head go whatever way you want it to go. So we could go in the same or the opposite direction as the legs. I like to look toward the arm that's reaching and lifting here. Going slow, it's one of the hallmarks of this practice. If it's not too much to layer on, we're gonna add a little more intentionality with the legs. You could just ignore me if you feel like you're trying to pile on too much, getting confused or frustrated. So we drop the knees to the side, and then whatever leg is on the outsides, we drop to the inner edge of the foot. With that leg, try to kind of push the inner edge of the foot into the ground. And it's almost like you're driving the knee forward. Driving the knee forward, the hip kind of lifts up. And you can also engage that glute muscle. So the buttock muscle, rocking to the inner edge of the foot, digging, pushing inner edge of the foot into the ground, and squeezing that glute. You might feel it as a nicer stretch in the front of the hip now. You can coordinate that with the arm reach, the little arm lift, and the rotation of the head. And then eventually coming back through to center. Let's just come back to Shavasana. Whenever you finish that one, you can slide your legs straight and bring your arms down by your sides and just drop the body down, nothing to adjust or fix. Notice what you notice. Releasing, relaxing, resting in awareness. Okay, legs can stay straight, or if you prefer, you can plant your feet. Let's interlace the hands underneath the head. So the head is heavy in the cradle of the hands. And then we'll simply press one arm down into the ground and hold for a moment. And then relax that side and do the same thing on the other side. Pressing the arm down, holding that rooting energy. And then let it go and continue alternating a few more times. Notice what's arising. So you might be like, wow, there's some muscles engaging here, or there's like a little shift or something happening that you might not have expected with this simple action of rooting one arm at a time. And then try rooting both arms at the same time. Just press, elbows down. Maybe they're not getting there, maybe they're far away. You could put blankets under your arms so you have something to press into, holding for a moment, and then just relaxing that effort. Notice if when you press the arms down, the rib cage flares up toward the ceiling. And let's see what it feels like to not let that happen. So as you root the arms down, if the ribs are flaring up, imagine you could bring the rib cage kind of in toward the midline and down toward the floor. So when we do that, then we're working the shoulders independently of the spine. One more time, rooting the arm bones down, holding, taking the back bend out of the spine if it's arising. and then relax the arms. Keeping the hands underneath the head, with the fingers interlaced, let's slide to a side bend. So one elbow slides overhead toward whatever's behind you, and the other elbow slides down towards its hip, same side hip. And sliding side to side here. You could do the movement on the inhale. So you're breathing into the side that's opening. And then exhale through center. Sometimes we end up lifting the arms up here and we don't even realize it. The body often, or maybe it's the brain, wants to make it bigger and more impressive. So just see if you can stay with gravity, working to stay heavy, sliding and gliding, rather than lifting and shifting. You're really being in the movement, seeing into what's arising. Notice maybe the pelvis is moving. You might feel sensation through the lower back, the armpits, the chest. And then gradually slide back to center. Take your time. You don't ever have to rush to catch up with my words. We'll keep the head in the cradle of the hands and plant the feet. Feet about hip width apart. With your inhalation, press the arm bones down into the ground. We've already been doing this. And then with your exhale, press the spine into the ground. Use your hands to lift your head, curling up. Elbows squeeze both together and toward the knees. Follow your breath here for sure. Inhaling, find a bit of a back bend. So we make this gap between the lower spine and the floor without lifting the hips up. And then exhale, curl up and in. Evenly rooting through the feet. There's this kind of trend, I feel like, in yoga of keeping the toes lifted, but let's root through the toes, not like gripping, clawing, but grounding. And let's make this more of a shoulder blade focus. So as you press the arms down and arch your spine, see if you can squeeze the shoulder blades toward the spine. It's already happening, you can make it more. And then when you exhale and curl up, really feel the shoulder blades broadening away from each other, away from the spine. Adding a little more intentional movement with the neck. So as you inhale, lift the chin away from the chest, kind of sliding the back of the head along the hands, and then exhale, maybe tucking chin a little bit more down and in. One more element you might add, this is a diagonal reach with the exhalation, bringing the elbows across the midline toward one hip. Full breath in, really let the belly expand. When you inhale, exhaling across toward the other hip. A couple more times, hands are at the base of the skull, not the neck. Feeling the shoulder blade movement. At the end of that one, whenever it is for you, let's leave the head in the cradle of the hands and the feet planted. And just take a moment to be the observer of your experience. And next, we're going to combine our side scrub with that rotational curling up. So with the inhale, make a side bend to the left. The left elbow slides down toward the left hip. And then exhale, curl up toward left hip. It might be easier to do the same side a few times. Head comes down, side bend left. So right elbow slides overhead. And then exhale, curl up, elbows toward left hip. Let's go one more time, the same side. Inhaling, feel the right side of the torso opening up. Exhale, curling over to the left. Other side here. Follow your own breath. Inhaling, side bend to the right. Exhale, curling up toward right hip. A couple more times this side. Take your time. Adjusting the movement so it feels nourishing. Great, and then whenever you finish that one, take your time coming all the way into the full release of Shavasana. Notice tingling, pulsing, streaming, vibration, anything else. Okay, we're working next with the unwinding movement. Let's plant one foot and take the same side arm out to a T. So this leg is doing like half of that windshield wiper we did earlier. We'll rock to the inner edge of the foot. Foot's not coming up off the ground. Rocking to the inner edge of the foot, and then rocking back so the knee points up, the leg is vertical. As you rock to the inner edge of the foot, dig the inner edge of the foot into the ground. Could do the movement on the inhale, exhaling back to center, or breath flowing freely. As you rock to the inner edge of the foot, if you want to work a little more, engage your glute, that glute of the leg that's active. Just squeeze the buttock muscle and then let it relax when you come back to that starting shape. Other actions to potentially add on the arm reach, so that arm that's out to a T can slide a little bit away from you. It's not getting very far. As you rock to the inner edge of the foot, and then relax the leg, relax the arm. You could look toward that arm that's out to a T. Other leg is totally passive. This other side of the body is just going along for the ride. The last couple times, My arm started doing a little lifting at the end of the reach. Maybe you want to as well. It's not a big lift, just an inch or so hovering. Beautiful. At the end of that one, whenever it is for you, we'll swap sides. So whatever foot is planted, arm is out to a T. Go slow, rock to the inner edge of the foot, swinging the knee across the midline, and then back to center. It's intentional movement. You could just kind of swing and not feel anything and wonder why the heck we're doing this. Or you can push, dig, inner edge the foot into the ground, reach through the knee, maybe even engaging that glute. Perhaps reaching the arm that's out to a T. So leg goes one way across the midline, arm slides the other way. You can rotate the head to look towards the arm as it scoots away from you. Maybe at the end of the reach, you get a little lift of the arm. Couple more times on this side. At the end of that one, whenever it is for you, we're going back to the first side. So the foot is planted, the arm is out to a T, the other leg can go straight again, and that arm alongside the body. We're gonna work now external rotation with this arm that's out to a T. So if you're unfamiliar with that, start with the palm facing down. And then the direction for external rotation is the palm facing up, but we keep going in that direction. So for some of you, you might end up pivoting off of your thumb and the palm facing down again. The arm's gonna stay on the ground. I'm just lifting so you maybe can see it a little bit better. So when I externally rotate, I can feel that shoulder blade dropping down and really the shoulder dropping down to the ground. If I go internally, I'm curling up, and we're not doing that. Okay, so you could start with palm up and just go from there. But if it's helpful to start with the palm down, from there you flip the palm to face up and continue in that direction. I'm gonna do it with the unwinding. So rocking and the knee across the midline, digging the inner edge of the foot into the ground. Try squeezing that glute. Notice if it's unresponsive, might be on one side, might be like, no, actually, not doing anything. And maybe looking toward that arm that's externally rotating. You might not get anywhere near as far as me, you might go farther than me. We're not pushing, we're not forcing, we're investigating with curiosity and patience. About one more time on this side. And then when it fits into your flow, setting up for the other side. Same side, foot planted as arm out to a T. Rock to the inner edge of the foot and externally rotate the arm. Feel how that shoulder and the shoulder blade tuck down away from the ear. Looking toward the arm as it rotates. Digging inner edge of the foot into the ground to reach the knee toward that far corner of the mat. Squeezing that buttock muscle. And then once you finish up that one, slide the legs straight and bring both arms down alongside your body. And notice the field of sensation. Let's plant the feet again, about hip width. And let's stretch the arms up toward the ceiling with the palms connecting. That's it. So fingertips point up toward the ceiling. And from here, let's let one hand slide past the other hand as it reaches up toward the ceiling. Don't bend this other elbow, just keep that arm where it was, and then slide back so the palms connect in prayer. One arm reaching, other arm just staying where it is, and then coming back. Couple more times. Feel how the shoulder lifts up. Notice any shift that's happening in the pelvis. You don't have to stop that, but try not to exaggerate it. So we're really isolate in the shoulders. Is our focus today, shoulders. You might be noticing a little bit of like a knee reach happening. Isn't that interesting? Does one arm reach more than the other? That's common. And next time the palms are connected, just pause, keep the arms up, and drape the right leg on top of the left leg. Okay, we're gonna rock to the inner edge of the left foot and let the knees drop over to the right. And then come back up to center. One more time, just the legs. Go easy here. Don't push or force the legs down to the ground. There's no goal other than to be present. Now we're going to keep the hands together. So one's not going to reach past the other. The palms like glue them together and keep the elbows straight or relatively straight. And when the knees drop over to the right, Reach the arms over to the left. Everything coming back to center. And we keep going same direction, knees drop right, arms shift left. So I could bend the elbow and go a lot further, but I'm not. And let's rotate the head. Head and legs go same direction, arms opposite. Really keeping breath in the foreground of your awareness. A couple more times this side. So you don't have to be breathing a particular way, but be receptive to sighs or longer breaths or pauses in breathing. Okay, and then once everything moves back to center, switch the cross of the legs. So now the left is on top of the right, or whatever your second side is. If left is on top of right, we're dropping to the inner edge of the right foot. The knees drop over to the left. And then rising back up to center. No force here. Don't be aggressive. Adding the arm reach when you feel inclined. Palms stay together. One's not running past the other. Arms go right. Legs go left. Keep the elbows straight if you can. It's okay if it feels like you're not getting very far. Rotate head in the same direction the legs are going. Two sides could be totally different. Mine are. Once you're back to center, arms out to a T on the ground. Switch the cross of the legs. So we're going back to the first side. Right leg on top of left, if you're with me. Okay. And we're going to do the same movement with the legs. So we rock to the inner edge of the left foot. Knees drop over to the right. And then back to center. So as the legs go to the right, we're going to add that same external rotation with the left arm. So from the palm facing up, pivot so the thumb points down and the palm faces back behind you. Keep going in that direction per your capacity. And then unwind everything coming back to that starting shape. Good look toward the arm. Feel how the shoulder blade and the shoulder move and tuck down away from the ear. Go easy in the neck. And one of these next times you arrive back at center, switch the cross of your legs. Left is on top of right now, if you're with me. Knees, legs go over to the left as you rock to the inner edge of the right foot. Do movement on the inhale if you want to sync up to your breath. Externally rotating right arm. Perhaps turning head to look toward the arm as it's rotating. Once or twice more. Doing what you can with what you've got. And then once you finish up that one, unpack all the way to Shavasana. Notice what you notice. Okay, stay within gravity as much as you can as you roll to lie prone, so lying on your belly. Stack your hands, rest your forehead on your hands. Some folks tend to kind of like lift up and engage their shoulders, but we really, at least for now, want to release down. See if you can let your chest drop, let your shoulders drop, let your arms relax downward. Head stays down, head on the hands. Lift one elbow away from the ground and then lower it down. Alternate. Hands are staying down, head is staying down. We're just lifting the elbow up toward the ceiling. And now let's just start to let the head roll to look toward the lifting elbow. So I'm rolling from forehead essentially to temple. Come back to center. Take hold of your elbows. Notice my elbows are in front of my shoulders. You can walk them back a bit, but we're not going for right beneath. We're trying to create more length in the front body. So elbows are forward of the shoulders. Tuck your toes under. Push through your heels, press the elbows down, and we're in this kind of Sphinx shape with the chest and the head up and the shoulder blades moving down toward your waist. You can keep hold of the elbows or slide them apart. Let's bring the head down. I just keep hold of my elbows and slide my arms forward and untuck the toes for a moment and rest. Same prone back bend. Tuck your toes under. See if you can kind of walk your toes a little toward your knees and then really drive through the heels. The knees will probably lift off the ground. You could walk your elbows back toward you a little bit and then really press the elbows down and lift the navel up toward the chin. Shoulders sliding down or actively depressing. And let's add glute engagement. So squeeze your buttocks muscles and see what that changes in your back bend. You can even squeeze your thigh muscles, but mostly the glutes. Release down. One more time, come back up, toes tucked under, sending energy through your heels, rooting down through the elbows. If you feel like all the sensation is isolated in one part of your back, probably the lower back, we're going to try to distribute it more evenly by moving the bottom of the rib cage toward the back body. So rather than kind of like letting the belly and the ribs hang toward the floor, I'm going to pull them in toward the back body and then see if you can root through the elbows and lift up through the chest a little bit more. Energy through the legs. Great. This time as you lower, you can tuck one arm under and across and roll onto your back again. Stretch out the legs. Interlace your hands over your chest. Press the palms up toward the ceiling. And then reach the arms overhead toward the floor. Walk the upper body over to the left a bit until you feel sensation in the right side of the body. And let's hold this side stretch, pressing more through right heel. Come back to center. Bring the arms back up toward the ceiling and switch the interlace. So it's just switching so the other index finger is closer to the thumbs. It might feel awkward. And then arms overhead again, alongside the ears. And now side bending your other direction. So for me, that's upper body to the right. Stretch, stretch through the limbs, especially through the left leg, left heel. Come back to center. Let's take one more breath here, reaching from the midline, elongate evenly. And then release the arms down, relax the whole body. Notice with kind attention what's here now. Okay, from here, when you feel ready, you can bend your knees, roll to your side, and make your way into child's pose. Breathe into your back. Let's rise up to all fours. Wrists are directly beneath the shoulders. Knees hip width apart. Spread through your fingers and really take the time to root through each finger. Especially the bases of the index fingers is where I see people lose their connection. So we really want to get that rooting through more the inner portion of the hand. Rooting through the bases of your thumbs. And there's a little, well, actually, let's just add a little external rotation, right? So we did this external rotation, and now we do it with the hand staying on the ground. So it's as if you could dial the hand outward, but it's not moving. From here, I'm going to do a little bit of scapular movement. So my lower spine, my pelvis isn't moving. If you want to just kind of keep yourself honest, you can put your block on your sacrum. So we isolate the movement through the shoulder blades. So we can let the shoulder blades or invite the shoulder blades to retract, letting the heart melt toward the floor. And then push the floor away and slide the shoulder blades away from each other. We're still rooting evenly through the fingers and getting that little external rotation. So it's not cat-cow, it's scapular retraction and protraction. Arms are staying straight. We're not bending the elbows here. A couple more times. This is new to you. Just giving yourself time, giving your body and your brain time to figure out how to make it happen. We can't expect to get everything right away or be good at everything right away, like I usually am or want to be, but not. One more time here. Retract, protract. Great, and then from here, if you're using the block, you can take it off. If you have a mat, if you have a blanket on your mat, take it off, or if you've been on carpet, maybe now grabbing your mat. We're coming back to our all fours with the knees a little bit in relative to the hips, just a little bit. Just check in again with how your hands are connecting to the ground. This gets overlooked a lot. Now we're going to really push the floor away and get all that protraction and continue to dial the hands outward. Toes tuck under, just hover your knees for a moment and bring your attention to your lower belly. So we're in what Animal Flow calls the beast position. From here, from your lower belly, lift your hips up. My shoulders are still over my wrists. And then let your hips go back a little bit. And here we are in down dog. Some of you might want to bend your knees. So if you find that all of a sudden you're rounding your spine, keep your knees bent. There's no rounding in the spine here. In down dog. Bending the knees is a way to cultivate that nice long line of energy. So we could think about the sacrum and between the shoulder blades as being in basically a line. You know, the body's not linear necessarily, there's curves, but it's not, there's no tucking under or rounding here. Let's just take a couple breaths here. Be sure you're still pushing the floor away strongly. So the shoulders are elevating, the shoulder blades are moving toward the ears in down dog. We should never be moving the shoulders away from the ears in down dog. Or any position where the arms are overhead. Push the floor away. Find that little bit of external rotation, dialing the hands outward and rooting evenly through the hands. From here, push the floor away as you walk your hands back toward your feet. And then bend your knees. Your fingertips can be on the ground. The knees are bent. Bring your arms forward so the chest can rise up here. We're coming into chair pose. Reach the arms forward, either staying here or bring arms up alongside the ears. So back of the head is in line with the sacrum. We want to avoid really lifting up or dropping. Keep reaching through the arms. That's it. And then you can rise up, take your time, and release your arms down through this ocean of energy. Okay, we're gonna keep working with this kind of shoulder neck connection, shoulders in particular, in some of our standard asana. So we'll start in a side angle shape on the right side. The right toes point forward. I like to align front heel with back arch and outer edge of the back foot parallel to the short edge of the mat. You could turn it in a little bit. We don't want to turn it out. Doesn't have to be your longest, deepest side angle because we're focusing more on the shoulder here. So we'll bend the right knee to stack it over the ankle and maybe use a block here so you can bring your hand down inside or outside the front foot. Okay, if you're really facing the floor, elevate more so you can open up and face me, face out in front of you, yeah? Okay, from here we're going to stretch the left arm up toward the ceiling and look up toward the left hand, or as much as you can without feeling pain in your neck. Then we bring the back of the hand to the lower back and look down. Here's the crucial part. This shoulder might want to roll forward. Don't let it. So we keep drawing the left shoulder blade toward the spine. Inhale, reach up, look up. Your exhale, back of the hand to the lower back, looking down. A few more times. Keep focusing on drawing this left shoulder back behind you. Legs are strong, legs are active. The next time you reach up and look up, root through your feet to rise up and pivot your feet for the second side of Parshva Konasana, side angle asana. Left toes point straight ahead. You can align your left heel with your right arch. You can have your left back foot toes turned in or straight toward the long edge of your mat, just not back behind you. Okay, you're gonna bend the knee, bring the hand down, maybe to a block, maybe to a higher setting on the block. If you're really closed off here, we really want to open up. So we really want this right shoulder up toward the ceiling rather than out in front of us. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, back of the hand to the lower back, look down. I should have said this earlier, but I'm kind of looking at my left foot here. Inhaling, reach up, look up. As you bring the back of the hand to the lower back, don't let the shoulder roll forward. Keep drawing it back. A few more times, take your time. Maybe once more. Okay, and then reach up, look up, rise up. We're pivoting the feet, so we're on the right side again, this time for triangle. The foot placement is the same. The stride could be a little shorter. Let your hips rock back toward the left foot. And you can bring your right hand down to a block. Same idea here. If you're facing the floor, go higher setting on the block and bring this right side of the rib cage forward. Might not be your deepest triangle. It's not really our focus today. Same arm movement here. So another opportunity to practice reaching up, looking up, pulling the front of the left shoulder or the head of the arm bone back, back of the hand to the lower back, looking down toward right foot. Follow your breath here. And last one. The next time you reach up, look up, root to rise, come all the way up. That's it. We're pivoting the feet for the second side. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Be sure your front toes aren't turned in. You can turn them a little bit more out or have them straight on. And let your hips rock back toward the right foot. Bring your hand down. Go higher setting on the block if you find you're kind of facing the floor. So you can bring this left side of the rib basket forward. Reach up, look up. Back of the hand to the lower back, looking down. Really is the sacrum for me anyway. Drawing the head of the right arm bone or the front of the shoulder back behind you when the hand comes down to the sacrum. One more time. And then the next time you reach up and look up, press your feet down to rise up. And then let's meet in Prasarita Padottanasana, so feet are wide, toes point forward. It could be a little turned inward. If you're getting knee pain, maybe turning the toes outward, but otherwise try for straight on. And then we'll just fold halfway down. So spine is parallel to the floor. Use blocks if you need to, if your spine isn't parallel to the floor. So it's going to depend to a degree on your hamstring flexibility and your arm length here. If you're using a block, you can put it underneath your left hand, and we'll bring the right hand to the right hip. Let's actually dial the left hand so the fingers point out to the side. So we've got some of that external rotation going on. And then rooting evenly into the floor or the block. So really taking a moment to feel like, where am I not connecting? Which finger is losing its grounding? And then I'm pushing the floor away and maybe adding a little bit more of that external rotation. If you know you're hypermobile in the elbow, don't add any more. Let's actually bring right fingertips to the right side of the temple. We're going to try to keep the pelvis level. So if you wanted to, you could put a sacrum on your, a block on your sacrum. Okay, just so we can really more isolate through the thoracic spine. So you might not twist as much as a result. That's okay. So we're twisting to the right and then untwisting. A couple more times, opening up and unwinding. Opening up here. And then just straighten the arm, and it might not go up to the ceiling. Maybe it's more out to the side. You can try pushing the floor away a little bit more with your left hand and keeping the block from falling off. I'm going to try pulling up on the pelvic floor, so drawing up on the pelvic floor. See if that gives you a little bit more ability to rotate. Where is it comfortable for your neck? Maybe let's look down. And then unwind. So we're back at center here. The right hand is on the ground or on a block beneath the right shoulder. Fingertips point out to the right. Check your hand. Feel, where am I not connected? It's most often through the base of the index finger, or we kind of dump into the wrist. So we shift a little bit more forward to the to where the fingers meet the palms, those knuckles. And maybe adding a little bit more dialing outward action of that right hand. Left fingertips to the left side of the temple, opening up, and then unwinding. So this twist is not coming from the pelvis at all. It's coming from the spine. A couple more times. The next time you open up, you can stay here or try stretching your arm out from the shoulder. It might go up to the ceiling. It might be more at an angle here. Keep pushing the floor with your right hand. Try drawing up on the pelvic floor. See if that gives you a little bit more rotational ability. Maybe look down. Nice, everybody. Unwind your spine. You have the block on your sacrum, you can remove it, and then we'll just fold through center. Feel free to have the knees bent, the head supported, maybe on a block or two. Drawing upward through the inner seams of your legs. There's a little gathering of shoulder blades on the back, so I'm not just letting my shoulders drop and collapse. There's a little bit of yoking shoulder blades onto the body. And then from here, you can take your time coming up, maybe heel toe feet in first, till they're under your frame, and then slowly rise. Nice work. Just take a moment here in Tadasana. Notice the inner landscape. Great, and then from here, can lie on your back again. Yeah, so lying on your back. Just take a moment here in Shavasana. Okay, and then we'll plant the feet again, feet wide. Drop your knees over to your left. So this left leg can just drop down to the ground. Kind of pushing it could just be the inner edge of the right foot, or it could be the whole foot. Maybe that'll be interesting and different. So whole bottom of the right foot pressing into the ground, kind of reaching the knee away from you. So this right hip is going to lift up, and you can engage the right glute like we have been. And let's add right arm alongside the ear. Breathing into the right side, breathing into the back of the rib cage. Release. Right arm can come down. Drop the knees over to your right. Just let that right leg drop all the way down. And then either the whole left foot pressing down or inner edge of the foot. One might feel different than the other on your knee, among other things. Kind of reaching through the knee. So this hip is lifting up, engaging, squeezing left buttock, and bringing left arm alongside the ear. So it's really stretch through this left side. Breathe into the left side. Breathe into the back. And then you can bring your arm down and legs back to center. And let's bring feet together, knees apart, Supta Baddha Konasana. If you'd like a little support, you can bring blocks to outer thighs, under knees. Let your breath breathe you. And then slide the legs out straight. Make any adjustments for our last Shavasana. So you could add support here if you like. Take the arms out a little wider. Maybe feet a little wider apart. Maybe covering up with a blanket. Dimming the lights, putting an eye pillow on. Entering a state of non-doing. Resting in awareness. And gradually begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rolling wrists and ankles. Maybe bringing up a full body stretch. Whenever you feel ready, you can gently roll to your side and then press up to a seat eventually. Bowing head to heart and hands with gratitude for this day, this precious human existence, all that you have, all that you can do, this abundant life, each and every breath. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you.